Speaking of football, joining me now, Josh Hoover. Josh, how are you, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing fine. One of Indiana's commitments, quarterback down in Heath. He's from Heath, Texas, but down in Rockwall High School, right?
It's Rockwall Heath High School. So,
Yeah, they always put those
'cause there's,
hyphens in the extra names, and so everybody can get a
yeah,
piece of it, man. Nah, just kidding. How's the season going for you, man? I look your stats are just crazy. 3 games in, and you've already thrown for nearly 1,000 yards. 74% completion percentage. 50. These stats are so easy to memorize because they're so gaudy. 57 of 77 for 74%. I got that memorized. 11 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Having a pretty good start to the season so far, Josh.
yeah, it's been pretty good. So we've been playing pretty well, clicking pretty well as a team, and thankfully we have a really good team around me, and got some guys at receiver and some guys up front who can really go. So that makes it a lot easier.
Well, and you play in the upper level of Texas's 6A football, which everyone knows as far as high school football goes. It's about as good as he gets. What's it like, really? Because I don't think people understand. I know they don't understand the Indiana basketball thing outside of Indiana. They think, yeah, they hear about it, but they're like, yeah, that's probably no. It really is. It's that way, and it's the same thing with high school football in Texas. The crowds are crazy. The stadiums are big, and the football's incredible. That 6A class in Texas is just filled with talent that fills colleges across the country.
Yeah, I mean, just an example, when we played South Lake, I guess 2 weeks ago, there were 15 D1 commits on the field, so that's just kind of puts it in perspective. And there was,
15?
I think they said there's 15. I think we have like 7 or 8 right now, and they had about the same, something like that. So, um, it's just the competition's high, and I think that only helps you for the next level. And I like playing in the biggest part of the organization in Texas, and play against a bunch of good guys and a bunch of good teams. So that only helps you.
Absolutely. I mean, and that level of competition, because it looks kind of like a JUCO when if you watch the highlights, if you watch the play, it looks like it's a different level of normal high school football. You can tell there's a difference.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's like I said, when you got D1 guys who look the part, right now, they don't necessarily play the part, but there's a lot of guys that look it right now, and so when you just look out there, it looks pretty. It just looks different.
We talked about your stats that are looking gaudy. Coming into the season, everybody knows that you're back there, so they've got to be game planning around you when they play you all. Your passing ability, but your team, they can't do so much because you obviously have good receivers. What's it like when a team, that they're gearing for you and they're game planning around you and what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I just try to worry about what I need to do, based on what they've shown on film and what our game plan is, and whatever they throw at us, we're going to adjust. But I think we do a pretty good job of just adjusting and what they're trying to do. And sometimes we'll game plan for a 4 down and come out in a 3 down, or whatever it is, just trying to mess with us. And a lot of the times, a lot of defense coordinators are just trying to mess up our offensive line and do all kinds of funky stuff up front, just because we're really good up front. And so they do whatever they can to cutting guys, which I don't particularly like, and just all kinds of stuff to try and jack with us. But I think as a team, we've done a good job adjusting to what people have tried to do to us.
Well, and that gives you, because a lot of quarterback coming out of high school don't have to deal with that. So that's a learning curve that they haven't hit yet. So that's something that obviously you're getting to deal with now, which helps you. It gives you a step up when you get to college. I know you said earlier, you told us off air, you got a game with McKinney North coming up next. Tell me about McKinney North. Where are they in the pantheon of Texas high school football?
Yeah, they're always a good team. They have good player, good coach, and last year they had kind of an off year. I think it was probably just due to COVID and all that. They had some some issues with I think their quarterback got hurt too. But the year before they went like 4 rounds deep in the playoffs in 5A, and so they're a really good team. We're getting ready for those guys, and we're gonna have to bring it.
Absolutely, man, and looking forward to that. Last time we talked a little bit about your golf game, because last year you were stuck in due to COVID and you had never played golf. And so what is it, a chipping patch that you built, or was it you just doing that in your room? I'm trying to remember when we talked, you were practicing putting and chipping. Was that inside or out? Oh, I think we lost Josh for a second. We'll get him back here. But Josh Hoover from Indiana Football Commitment joining us from Rockwall, Texas. There he is. Josh, I was talking about your golf. It's all right. I was talking about your golf game. Have you last time we talked, all through COVID, I know you were just practicing. You had never played golf before, started practicing chipping and putting. Was that something you built outside? I can't remember, or something you were doing inside?
No, that was outside. So the house we had moved into had a putting green because the guy before, I guess, played golf, and so he built this big putting green, probably 50 feet long and 30 feet wide. Like, it was a legit putting green, and there was a sand bunker out there and all kinds of stuff. So I'd just go out there and I'd mess around until I figured it out, and just keep messing around when I was bored, and that's how I kind of learned.
So you taught yourself even.
Yeah, I just kind of went out there and experimented with stuff and figured it out.
So I was angry enough last time because if people don't remember your first score, I do. So to now, I didn't realize that you taught yourself on top of that. But no surprise to me. That's what great athletes do.
YouTube's got some tools too. So.
Oh, you learned golf off of YouTube. Oh man. If you don't remember, folks, I think if I'm correct, you shot an 83 the first time out.
I think like a 82, something like that. 82.
82, 83. What's a stroke here and there for your first time out? My God, that's barely. It's like only 10 strokes over par. That's nuts.
I must have gotten lucky that day.
Most people can't play that well now. That play all the time. That's kind of funny, but again, great athletes pick things up, man. Is golf a release? I know you don't get to do a lot of it right now, but is that something you see as a release to get away from because it's a different type of a sport. It's a one-on-one focus type of a deal. Is that a way of getting away from football?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think sometimes I go out there and I have to remind myself, hey, I'm just having fun. Like, I'm not, trying to shoot 65 today. But sometimes I'm so competitive that I get out there and I'm like, I'm really trying to play well. I have to remind myself I haven't played in a month. So, but I like to go out there and just kind of hang out when I get a chance and chill and hit some balls. And I like to go out there at night because it's slower and it's just probably me out on the course. So. Not at night, but right before, it gets dark. So it's kind of a way for me to just get out by myself and hang out.
I'm sure you've been able to watch Indiana play up till now.
I have.
Of course.
Yeah, I've watched both games.
Of course, a tough loss down in Iowa City. A lot of times they got caught by the start of the year, it looks like. But Iowa, a very, very tough team as they follow that up with a big-time top 10 win over on the road at Iowa State. So sure. Iowa is one of those teams that's going to be potentially they're definitely going to win the Big Ten West, I think. But they're a college football playoff contender right now. Indiana then came back, had a great game last week. Of course, a lot more fun for people. Gigantic game for the Hoosiers this week. A sold-out stadium. It's going to be a big-time event. You've got a top 10 Cincinnati team coming in. Those are the kind of games that you're looking forward to being a part of when you get to college. I mean, those big-time events. You going to Michigan and Ohio State and those kinds of – I mean, Texas high school football is big. Now we're talking big, though. We're talking about the Horseshoe, the Big House, Happy Valley, playing in the whiteout game, or if that would ever happen, but just those kinds of big college football events. Do you run that through your head, thinking about that, thinking of being on those fields?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you dream about when you're little in the front yard, playing with your dad. And, I've always dreamed of playing in big games and, making the plays and winning the game and all this stuff. So I think, in the back of my mind, I've always, wanted to do that and play against those great teams and just be able to compete at the highest level.
And watching Indiana's offense, what about that offense do you see that you like? Free flowing kind of an offense. It's kind of similar to what is there some similarities to what you guys do in high school?
Yeah, I think there's some similarities. Obviously, it's a little different because they're in the college level, but I think there's some similarities, and I just like the way, I like the way they play, and they got some guys outside who can make plays, and you can see their offense lines. They got some young guys who are pretty good, so I think it's only going to keep getting better.
And do you, when you're watching college games, is there a particular conference that you favor to watch, or do you just jump around and watch whatever?
I really don't, watch based on conference, just whoever's playing, I kind of watch them. But now that I've never really watched much Big Ten football, but now I'm starting to, if it's on, I'll watch it or something, because down here there's so many schools, so.
Tons, just in Texas alone. My gosh! But now, since you've started watching the Big Ten play, do you even see any difference in styles of play between conferences? The SEC used to be known as just as a running, slow down, and that's not really the case so much anymore. But
Right.
do you see any differences between the styles of offense, the types of offenses that are run in the different conferences?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could classify all the Big Ten schools, in one way, but you can definitely see, in my opinion, that people like to try and play hard-nosed football and run the ball in heavy sets, and I've only watched the Iowa game this year, and then like Ohio State, not as much. I mean, they still run the ball effectively, but there's a few teams in there that kind of get in the heavy sets and try to run the ball, but I haven't watched a whole lot of it, but I could probably tell you a little better here in a couple months, but.
A little film study.
Yeah.
And speaking of film study, how that is something that has really become, I mean, when I was in high school, yeah, we watched the film, but that was it. You'd watch. Now it's broken down. You've got sections. They can do so much with it. How important is that to you as a young quarterback? Film study already, learning how to do that, because that is an integral part, probably one of the most important things to what you do.
Yeah, I mean, films, it's huge. For us, we use it every single day. We watch every practice that we do. They cut up
Really?
practice. We watch every single day for our
Wow.
next practice. We watch, everything from walkthroughs and games and all kinds of stuff. So, and then on the other side, we also prepare for the team, watch them in film, and then also outside of practice, I watch them. And, I think it just gives you a head start. And, in the high school level, people give things away a lot and don't even realize what they're doing. And, so I think I can kind of get an edge that way. And, they wonder why you slid the line into the boundary. It's like, well, I knew you were coming. So it's kind of gives you that kind of gives you that edge. And, especially in high school and at the college level, it's a little more complicated, but I think it does the same thing.
What are the kind of things that you have to pay attention to pick up on those keys? I mean, to be able to do that in high school now, that wasn't happening when I was playing. And of course, that was 1,000 years ago. And athletes are so much better and smarter now. And the tools are better, like we talked about. But learning that, are you going to camps? Where are you first learning to pick up those kinds of details?
I'd say my dad, my dad really, I mean, I remember just watching TV on the couch when we were little, and he's like, hey, see that offensive lineman, his back's flat, it's a run, and so he played defense, played linebacker, and so that's what kind of helped me start picking up on stuff. And, he was just kind of pointing things out to me, and, he's always, been there to kind of guide me and, help me out, because he's a defensive guy, and he knows what he was looking for on the offensive side, and he knows what his tendencies were and what the offense was looking for him to do. So that's helped me on the offensive side to see, hey, that's what they're trying to do. So that's how I can pick them apart. If the safety is way over the top, they're probably into the boundary, probably bringing a corner blitz or, whatever it is. So I think tendencies have helped me, and he's helped me kind of with that stuff.
Man, that's a great education to get. And some kids, or a lot of kids, most kids, probably would not have been, I don't know if I want to use the word mature, but able to really soak that in as the way you obviously have, because it is really soaked in, and that's part of why you're as good as you are. Do you remember being fascinated by that information and wanting to learn more?
Yeah, I mean, I think I still want to learn more. I mean, I can't wait to get to college to just ask questions and, learn more about defenses and what they're trying to do. And but my high school quarterback coach, played at Tulsa for Philip Montgomery, and he played in the same system I did in high school. So he's been in the system for 8 years because Tulsa runs the same thing. And he's really helped me, just as far as learning the offense and the little things, that matter. And so the way I think is kind of similar to the way he thinks in this offense. And, he's, obviously ran it for 8 years straight and 4 years at the college level and played and started in college. So that's helped me a lot, and just really understanding our offense, what we're trying to do, and how to do it effectively.
And so when you look at college, or you look at Indiana's offense, and do you see some similarities to what you're already doing, and how it make it a little more seamless of an integration?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously their spread stuff. We're a spread team too, and so I think you're going to have some similarities in concepts and stuff. Obviously I haven't learned exactly what they're trying to do yet, but I have a glimpse of what they've done, and just from Zooms with like Sheridan and people. But obviously the more when I get there, I'll learn more and be able to compare it. I'd say better.
Now, do you get a chance to watch their games?
I will on TV, not on film or anything, just on TV.
I mean, so have you watched them live, or have you been able to watch the two previous games? You've seen them both
live, yes, sir.
Just watching some, and then of course this week's game. Are you watching that one live?
I will be in Cincinnati. Well, we have film until 11:30, so I have to run home. I'll probably have to record.
Gotta set that DVR, man.
Yeah.
You never know. That first quarter could be electric. It's going to be. It's a sold out. I mean, the stadium. It's been sold out for a couple of weeks, so it's going to be an electric atmosphere. There's no doubt. It's going to be a blast. I wish you could actually be up there. It would be fun, but man, looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking to you a little bit more, just to keep up to see with how your season's going. You're killing it, man. Nearly 1,000 yards already in 3 games. You're averaging over 300 yards, just 1 pick. Having a great, successful season. I speak for everyone. I say I hope that continues, but looking forward to talking to you more about it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me on.
And good luck against McKinney North this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.